We meet up with another member of the Sequoia Valley Garden Club. Today she is heading up a nature hike around the Asa Gray Nature Trail at the Town of Paris Recreational Park. The trail starts above the pond and is an easy loop through the woods.
The Garden Club meets at least 4 or 5 times a year with the children from the neighborhood center, just to try to get them outdoors to learn about nature. Today we're at the Town of Paris Park, and we're going to tour the Asa Gray Trail. This is the 200th year of birthday of Asa Gray, and we're going to tour his trail. Asa Gray was born right here in Sequoia Valley and was a world-renowned botanist and professor and doctor. At the age of 16, he went to Fairfield Medical School and graduated at the age of 20.
You know what's real. Loyalty is something you can't sell, not something that you find in a wishing well.
Another famous native son of the town of Paris is Garrett Judd. He was born in Paris in 1803 and educated as a physician. In 1827, he sailed to Hawaii as a missionary physician and was one of the founders of the Punahou School in Honolulu. This esteemed, top-ranked K-12 school is the alma mater of our nation's president.
Well, it was late one night, and I was watching Tom Snyder. I spotted the year's first spring spider. Let it go like I always do, but it returned the next night with a friend or two. And then 4, 6. Man. Spiders here, spiders there. Man, them spiders were everywhere. Went out and got a new dehumidifier. Nothing get rid of them stupid spiders.
We stop in to visit Wayne Inglis, fire chief of the Clayville Volunteer Fire Department, that recently celebrated 100 years of service to the community.
We had a 100-year anniversary. We had the county convention here for our 100th anniversary. The fire department started in 1908, and it was actually with a horse-drawn or a hand-drawn hose cart, and eventually progressed to what we have today, which is a pretty serious operation. We have 35 volunteers, and they work in various places. We're fortunate enough to have a pretty solid crew that works right in the town of Paris here, so between the school and the highway. And when the alarm goes off, they come from all directions, and we respond with all the equipment. We go from paramedic EMS coverage to the basic rolling hose, bumping cellars, that kind of thing, fighting fires. I've been probably in the fire department now 40 years, actually, 40 years. My father was in before me, and we used to hang around at the firehouse, and he was chief here, and I kind of fell into that, and we've been doing it ever since. I actually have 2 boys of my own that belong here, and at one time it was a 3-generation thing for my family, so pretty important. It's a pretty important thing, and you really don't mind helping people.
Right down the street is the Clayville Library, celebrating their annual fun fair this Saturday. We're here to meet local author Dorothy Stacy, who also has something to celebrate, her soon-to-be-published 4th children's book.
I published my first book in 2007, and I was a teacher at that time and took my class to a field trip at the Rome Erie Canal Village, and I took a ride on the packet boat, and I never learned about this in school, about the Erie Canal at all, so I was really excited about it, and I thought it would be nice for children to learn about it in a fun way. So that's kind of become my mission, to bring history to children in a fun and interesting way. Yes, Canal Town Christmas, book 4, will be coming out probably about October 1st. And it's kind of like what how they spent Christmas and Thanksgiving in 1840. And then I also integrate some things of how the customs that we now celebrate came about. Thanksgiving one, the Christmas one, and New Year's, and actually how the Christmas tree came about in the United States.
We walk just a couple steps down Oneida Street to the Blue Dragon Cafe. You can't miss it. It's the place with the big blue dragon on top. And people who've been here wouldn't dream of passing it by. The unique menu features a healthy and delicious selection of homemade food.
It's been 5 years since we came to the Blue Dragon, so we thought it only appropriate to come back today. I had, because I was born in December, I had the Sagittarian wrap. It was phenomenal. It's an herb wrap with turkey, roasted red peppers, apples, dried cranberries, spinach, cheddar, and maple Dijon, and it was grilled. It was out of this world. Typical of the summer, it's been a very hot day, so I topped off my day with a frosted frappe. Get yourself one of these too.
The Blue Dragon is in downtown Clayville with free Wi-Fi and is open Wednesday through Saturday for lunch and dinner. They are also available for catering private parties and meetings. It's another hot one. So what better place to visit than the Clayville Ice Company? In 1969, Gary Evans bought Copeland's original 1928 block ice company in North Utica and moved it here to Clayville. It is one of the very few block ice manufacturers still left in the United States, and no one knows more about making ice than Gary.
Processes, we got about 30,000 gallons of salt brine, sodium brine, and we run it about 18 degrees, and it takes about 2 days to freeze a block of ice, 300 pounds, which I think is 35 gallons of water. And then we pull it, and goes into the freezer, and do it all with ammonia, and runs beautiful. But we usually, most of the ice is for like corn and concrete. You know, they buy it for banquets and like that probably, but that's about it. I would say 90% of our ice goes for sweet corn in New York State. A lot of it goes to Kingston, most of it goes to Kings Ferry. They have 5,000 acres of sweet corn, and you can't ship ice without ice, or ship corn without ice. So it's a long process, but without this plant, you wouldn't see 5,000 acres of sweet corn, because there'd be no way to ship it. Most of his corn goes to Texas. Also, he ships it also to England and France too.
I asked Gary how much ice they make a day here. He told me 50 ton. Now, ice, again, takes me back a few more years. The show kind of makes me think of my younger days quite often, because when I lived in Cornhill in the 1500 block of Seymour Ave, we'd have ice delivered. We didn't have refrigerators, we had ice boxes. And you'd put something in the window to tell the iceman how much you wanted that particular day. And here's one of them. And we'd usually get the 50 pounds at a time. And here's another bit of trivia. We can tie ice into your bread, because here's a fact. To keep the dough at a certain temperature, bread makers have to have ice on hand. Our own local Heidelberg, for example, ordered 1.5 tons of ice just today.
Hey!